tell us about these idolizing some broadcasters like Mark Jones, John Saunders, Fred Hickman, Vanner Earl Wright. In your opinion, how important is representation in broadcasting?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's really important, and not for every group. I think you want diverse backgrounds. You want different. Everyone comes at things through a different scope, through a different lens, a different perspective, and you need to make sure we're representing everyone's perspective. And if you just have a bunch of people who look the same, sound the same, from the exact same background, you're not going to get the diversity that that the people watching and taking this in. You want to be inclusive, right? You want to have everyone understand that they're represented. And I think that's really important. And when I was a kid, grew up in downtown Toronto, I'd turn on City TV and there'd be John Saunders, a big, the big afro and so smooth, so good. And I was like, wow, like that's cool. Because there wasn't, especially, I grew up I was born in 1971, so I grew up in the 70s and 80s, really, and there was far less representation back then than there is now. So at the time, you would really take note of, hey, there's a guy, and there's a woman, and or there, whomever, and it was really important, and it still continues to be important. We should reflect what society is. We can't look at things in such a homogeneous way. It's got to be inclusive. So when I looked at guys like Fred, I worked with Fred Hickman at ESPN. I worked with John Saunders at ESPN. And I actually did a broadcast with John Saunders, which was a lot of fun. Did one of the, what did they call it, the American Bowl? What did they call the college football game down here? Oh, my gosh.
Rose Bowl?
No, not the Rose Bowl. There was one that they held at Skydome. I think was it called the International Bowl. That's what it was called. So I did a couple broadcasts with John on those, which was always a lot of fun. Mark Jones was another guy. When you turn on TSN, he was there, and I got a chance to work with his brother, obviously Paul Jones, and I did a couple of bowl games, football games as well. Did the Alamo Bowl with Mark Jones before too. So getting a chance to watch these guys and want to be like them, and then getting the opportunity to work with them meant so much to me, and I learned a lot from all of them.
I guess so. You've been in the industry now for many years. So how is it being a notable black man in a predominantly white sport, and especially NHL, as now you're covering Hockey Night in Canada?
Well, it's funny. At first, I didn't think that much about it, but then I get requests to come on and talk to guys like you. People come up to me in the street. Hey, keep doing what you're doing. Hey, it's good to see you out there. I guess I was maybe naive to the visibility of what I was doing. And I knew the iconic brand that's Hockey Night in Canada. Right. And I knew, oh my God, what a great opportunity it is. And you think about the broadcasters that have been there, the Dave Hodges and Ron McLean, who's, just one of the greatest broadcasters you'll ever come across, right? To be able to at least share a room with them and sort of see what they're doing. And also at the same time, maybe lending a voice for a group of people who've been underrepresented or not represented at all. It's great. I mean, I don't look at it as a responsibility as much as I look at it as like, wow, this is so cool to be afforded this opportunity. And if there's anyone out there watching and saying, hey, that's good. There's some diversity here, and there's people who look like us, and wow, if he's there, I can do it. I think that's great. And that's how I felt when I would see the John Saunders and the Mark Jones and, that group of guys who blazed the trail. So I think it's great. And it is a predominantly white sport. That's true. But I will say it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's moving in the right direction, but I would say it feels more integrated now than it ever did. There's a lot of prominent black players. You mentioned Jerome McGinley. Well, Jerome was kind of on an island, right?
Right.
But now there's
the
Evander Kanes and Wayne Simmons. There's a kid named Byfield who's going to be possibly the first or second pick overall in the NHL in June.
He had a really, really good juniors.
He had a first year with where was he, in Sudbury, I believe,
Right.
and Nathan. I mean, this guy is going to be a superstar by all accounts. So. It's good. We're seeing more and more diversity in the league, and that's great. It's a true reflection of the fan base, a true reflection of society, and I think that's good for everyone.